Hi, everybody, and welcome to Studying the Masters. I am Alicia Dianne. I am your host today and every day that you tune in with me. So, thank you for joining, guys. I am wearing my the child. Hopefully, my the child is not crooked. I'm wearing my child T-shirt that I got yesterday. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are with us today. If there's no mothers, well, happy Mother's Day to your mother. I tend to get more. I think there's more guys who watch this because I also think there's probably more men in comics and animation. Um, that's a good thing and it's not a good thing. We want it to be a little bit more even. So hopefully, you share this with your lady friends who also like to draw. I like to have all sorts of people with me. I like to have everybody with me. So I just hope that this is accessible for everyone. Take some. I'm just getting my coffee. I'm running so late today. I mean, maybe that's one thing I can talk about today. I'll have to swallow my coffee. Sorry about that. But maybe that's one thing I can talk about today. It's like this domino effect of things that happened. But I am going to be doing a few warm-up sketches because I haven't done them yet today, and I really like to prioritize getting my warm-up sketches before I do anything major, especially before I start a painting or something that's going to require a lot of creativity from me. I just, I mean, it can still be done without it, but it's just not the same for me. I like to make sure I get in just a couple of poses so I feel good and loosened up, ready, getting my little stretch, even if it's a little bit of a stretch. Just get a little bit of a stretch on so I can feel good once we start drawing. That's just me. I don't know about you. But today is funny because I woke up. I always set my alarm during the week for 6:30. I used to wake up way earlier than that. Pre-COVID, I used to wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. I started just gradually 6 o'clock, then 5 o'clock, then 4 o'clock, just earlier and earlier. Trying to just be that early bird that gets the worms. I mean, some days are better than other days. Some days I would, start and be pretty effective. But at the same time, I was kind of like running with, I guess, what do they call it? With both sides of the candle lit or something like that, they call it, or I don't know. I think I was just overdoing it at that point, just a little bit carried away with how much I guess I was expecting. And I think I was trying to make things happen that weren't yet ready to happen yet, and I had to realize that when other things, weren't working in my life. I'm like, okay, I need to just slow everything down and sort of re-evaluate my priorities. I want to get things done, and I still have that drive and desire to do that, but at the same time, I know that once certain things that aren't ready to happen yet, no amount of like lack of sleep necessarily I think is really going to make it happen when it's not ready yet. So I'll just keep myself warmed up. And what does that mean? Hopefully that's not like too confusing for anybody. But I think we can get carried away with like, wanting to get that one job or wanting to get accepted into that one school and just thinking that, okay, if I work hard enough, then I can do it. And sometimes you can. Sometimes, it pays off. I mean, regardless, you reap what you sow. So if you do the work, you're going to see results, right? You're going to get better. You're going to continue to grow. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get that one thing you were aiming for any sooner than it was kind of meant to get to you. I think part of it is within our hands, like part of like learning the skills, getting better, finishing projects, all of that stuff is within our hands. But we can't control what other people do. We can't control who, hires us because we we can't control other people. That is just, that is just the nature of this world. We don't have the ability, no matter how hard we try, to control other people and what they decide to do. And ultimately, hiring us is something that someone else decides to do or not. It's not up to us. We can only present like our best selves and be like the best that we can be to be hireable. But then it's out of our control. So I think I was trying to make things happen. If you've been listening to me for a while, you probably already know that I've been wanting to work for Disney forever. Actually did work for Disney, but not in the way that I wanted to. I worked at the theme park for like a short time. I was driving from Santa Clarita to Orange County, 6 days a week, and it wasn't working out. Just to make, not for nothing, but also to make minimum wage. It was like an internship, but it was really an internship not for people who were wanting to be artists, but for people who were just trying to figure out their life. It really was not built for a 30-something-year-old who was trying to get into the animation industry. It's really built more for like that 19-year-old that doesn't really for sure know what they want to do with their life yet. Which I've been there before, even though at 19 I did know I wanted to be in animation. I just didn't know, how it was going to happen. But anyway, what was I even saying? What was my point? Oh yes, I've been wanting to work for Disney for a long time, but I was trying to make it happen, just trying to like work, and that Rihanna song, work, but it wasn't really paying off, in the sense that I wasn't getting any more interviews or any callbacks and stuff like that, and other things in my life wasn't taking care of everything else that needed to be taken care of. So I decided to like pace myself, and if it happens, it happens. But I think my biggest takeaway from that was not letting that one goal I have be like the determining factor of like what makes me happy in life, like, oh, I'm not going to be happy until I get this animation job at Disney. I think even though I never said that, I kind of felt that way. I think that was like, I felt like I wouldn't be worth anything unless I got that job. And I realized that I had to be good with where I am and not let that, dictate how happy or not I am in my life. And that was, it sounds silly, but I think there's a lot of artists like that have that one goal. I'm sure it crosses over to other fields too, but that have that one sort of goal, and like if I don't reach that, then I won't quite be happy yet. And I'll be done with these in a second. I'm just kind of quickly letting myself feel looser and looser with this drawing mechanism. I'm forgetting what I was doing. But I think the moment that it really hit me, like real, was when I left California. I left California last year, and there was a lot of, I know I keep saying this, things going on in my life. There was like trouble like happening, to be honest. In my marriage, we were having like a hard time last year, and it wasn't till like I left, and after like kind of coming to this realization in my head that like maybe this is not going to work out. Also, it was the second factor of like, well, I'm leaving this state where it all happens, so I guess I'm really letting go of that part of myself. I guess I'm really letting go of animation. My chances of working for Disney, and it seemed small, but at one point, once all of the other things were kind of, they were kind of like settling in. With that, also, it was a part of what was settling in my feelings, and it was it hurt me, man. It hurt a lot. I was kind of just, oh, I felt it like, oh no, like I'm really letting this go, like really. And that's a hard thing, you know. That's a hard thing. Um, Spoiler alert, my marriage is just fine now. A lot of months of working hard at it and getting professional help, and talking things over, getting resources. Um, Thankfully, thank God, we were able to resolve the big conflicts that we were going through that were really for a long time, but I just had sort of come to a head last year. Um, Not because of the pandemic. I mean, a lot of people said, "Oh, I'm going crazy with this person who's next to me all the time." It wasn't that at all. We actually really enjoy each other's company. It was just other things that were happening that were just too much, and it just came to a head. And so, like, anyway, thankfully we were able to figure it out, and I stayed actually I was in Atlanta, in a suburb of Atlanta called Smyrna, for 6 months. um, the good thing about that is that I got to spend that time with my mother. Speaking of mothers, I got to spend that time with my mom, and I really hadn't lived with my mom for a long time. I hadn't lived with my mom since, I moved out after college, and I was, 25 years old. Actually, just turned 26 years old, and I had just graduated from SVA. But I didn't think I would ever really live with my mom again. But just living with her for that short time, even though I realize, we are very different people, it's not really always easy for us to necessarily get along. Sometimes when we have, like, especially being so far apart from somebody, like, there's a lot of unresolved things, like, even from my childhood, that I kind of weren't really discussed, when we lived far away. But living close together gave us time to, like, discuss those things and kind of get to the root of some of the issues a little bit. Not all of them. I mean, nothing is ever really going to be perfect, especially when you with parents, because, to be honest, they have different beliefs than you do. They have different ways of going through life than you do. So it's not going to be perfect for most of us. I don't know, some people have it perfect with their parents. I don't know who you people are, but for most of us, it's not going to be perfect. But it was definitely nice to kind of get to a place, I think, of mutual respect with my mom while I was living with her. And I think that worked out for our benefit. I think that worked out for the best for us. Even though I was going through other stuff in my life, it was a good time. And so now I can say that I'm in a good place with my mom. That made it sort of worthwhile, That made it sort of worthwhile. I always do, like, draw the shape, even when you have clothes on, which they do. I just like to figure out where everything is going to be going. Okay, so I'm gonna stop that and gonna get started with am I live still? Hopefully I'm live. Yes, I'm live. Alright, just making sure. I don't know, sometimes. Probably gonna get breakfast while I'm recording, because like I said, I'm just sitting down. I totally didn't even discuss what I wanted to. I was gonna get into that domino effect thing, and I started talking about, like, all of my personal troubles. Thanks, morning coffee. I promise it's only coffee on earth. I don't drink alcohol. I can't. I'm not interested. Just coffee. But I drink a lot of coffee nowadays. I know. Probably not great, but just pitch black coffee too. Nothing in it, just straight up coffee. I love it. It's really nice. Okay, let's see. Which one am I using? I think it's this one. That's the last one I did. Let's find it. Sketchbooks. Look at my virtual sketchbook. I have all these different categories. No, it's not there. It's in cartooning. Why do I not? Oh, there it is. Cartooning. And then studying the masters. I know we're not starting until way later. I did this too. It's because I have it scheduled for 10 o'clock and my body's, like I said, the domino effect. Okay, so what is the domino effect pertaining to what we're doing right now? Oh, great. So let me delete this layer. Save. I didn't sleep that great on Saturday night. I worked till 10. I got home at 10:30, and I just was kind of like up. I wasn't like restless. I just felt like not ready to sleep yet. So I was just up till like midnight. And Sunday, on Mother's Day, I woke up at like 6:30. I knew I was still tired. My body was still tired, but like I really wanted to play Stardew Valley, which is currently my favorite video game. I don't know if you guys ever played it before, but it's really fun. It's 2-bit or 8-bit, sorry, 2D 8-bit. You know, like the old school games. But it's like a farming game. It's like a role-playing game. My husband keeps calling it like a fake Animal Crossing, but it's so much better than Animal Crossing. It's so much more detailed. It's like Animal Crossing meets The Sims, I would say. But it's better than both of those, to me right now anyway. Hold on, I need to figure out what I'm going to save this thing as. 2, 9. This is the 9th one. Okay, I don't even know which one I'm doing yet, but I was thinking of doing. You guys get to see my whole process today because I'm not prepared. I'm prepared to draw. I'm just not prepared with like my setup and all that stuff. But I was just listening to a message today, and it says maximize your strength, and it like. So your weaknesses don't matter. There it is. Maximize your strengths so your weaknesses don't matter. So timing is not my strong point, but drawing is. So I get to make up for my bad timing with some, hopefully, really nice drawing today. Hopefully. My drawing is not good today. I'm not even going to say that. My drawing is going to be amazing today. I just feel it. I'm trying to pick which painting we should do. I was thinking to do something like Disneyland because I did go to like downtown Disney yesterday. That's where I got this cool shirt from. Because Mary Blair did a lot of the like concept art for like the rides and stuff when Disney, Mr. Walt, was opening up Disneyland. So I was wondering if I should do some, like you see this? It's like her standing with the It's a Small World. You can't really see it that well, but imagine it in your mind. She did like a lot of the concept art for that. I don't know if I want to do the It's a Small World though. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of It's a Small World. It's not a bad ride, it's just not like the best. That's all. A little repetitive. Oh, I'm getting in trouble. Sorry. What should we do? Let's see. I better pick something quickly. That one looks fun. This is from Peter Pan. It's like the Indian village, but more correctly, Native American village. There's no figures in that one though. I don't know if I want to do one without figures. Well, you can, there's figures, but just like silhouette. I don't know if I want to do that. This one's kind of fun. I haven't done this one. This is Alice. I know I've done a couple of Alice in Wonderlands, but I mean, I guess that's what she's the most famous for. I did Cinderella last week. Oh, that one's fun. There's like this picture with the king. That's fun. But no, I think I want to do this Alice. It looks fun. All right. It's the one with the where the she and the rabbit get to the house. That looks cute. So I'm going to do that today. And I'm going to take a picture. This is my process. It's not very fancy. And I just airdrop it to myself, to my computer, to my Mac Mini. And I just reference it and I draw. And I put my little book, The Art and Flair of Mary Blair, right back where it goes in my little bookshelf. And we start drawing. So let's start drawing. I'm going to close that one. We don't need that open right now. And okay, I think we're ready to roll. All right. I know we're like 40 minutes in. I should be way. I'm not gonna keep on criticizing myself. I would like to sometimes, but I'm gonna just be nice to myself today. How about that? What a concept. What a concept. Alright, so the first thing I always do is I like to sketch what's all happening. It's a little bit uneven. And get all this stuff in that's in. To figure out the proportions, so I might, some of this stuff I will redraw a few times before I'm like contented with it, I guess. Let's see. Let's see. Feels like this is not wide enough. Yeah, this should take up way more space. So I'm going to move this over. To there. What about this part? I'm going to move this over also. To that's good. This comes down more. This is the rabbit's house, that's what this is. And delete this bit there. It's so annoying how these pop-ups keep showing up in Photoshop. I don't even, did anybody knows how to get rid of them? It's in like this more recent version of Photoshop keep getting these pop-ups. I don't know why, but if you guys know how to get rid of them, please let me know, because it always just shows up right right on the same spot I'm drawing, and I'm like, move, get out of my way, please. Pop up window. And this is actually shaped a little bit different. It's like what is there? I'm trying to figure out and think while I'm drawing. There's these windows that are not necessarily even on each side. They look like they should be, or they would be, but they're intentionally not. The house actually has a bangs. Oh. I was wondering why the book was on top of these, and now I see why. And the papers blew away from the window being open. Just a second. Okay, back to action. Draw this. Okay, let's see. There's a fence. Two bunny heads. It's funny, the rabbit has to have all this stuff to remind him that he's a rabbit, I guess. Something like that. I don't know. I should have Alice in Wonderland playing in the background. I didn't really like this movie when I was a kid. I don't know why, but I just didn't. But I watched it again fairly recently, and I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know why, or what it was that got me to change my mind, but apparently I did. Something did. Also, in Atlanta, they have this cool, really cool botanic garden, and they have this whole area that's like Alice in Wonderland themed. It's like all of these crazy. It's like particularly themed after the part in the movie where the queen is like, you know, in the garden, and her little servants that are deck of cards have painted the roses red, and I don't know. It's really cool to see if you're ever in that area. I love like gardens and stuff like that though, especially when they make them fun. They have this like, I didn't know if it's like really supposed to be the Moana thing, but they have this cool like Tafiti thing too. I don't know if it's like, you know, legit really like the Moana one, but it's really cool. It's like this thing coming up out of the water, and it's all made of like foliage, and it looks just like Tafiti. I don't know what they call it though, but it looks really cool. It's also at that Atlanta Botanic Garden. I'm actually planning to go visit there soon, so probably I will visit the garden while I'm there, because I really like it a lot. Who? Somebody messaged me on the gram. Sorry. My friend messaged me. Ha. Ha. Anyway, back to drawing. Back to drawing this lovely little house. And let's see. Let's keep going. I think I made these windows too big. Yeah, they're kind of big. Or too tall anyway. I think the width is fine, but the height is not. I'm trying to figure it out. It's like this little flower thing here, flower bed right here. They should be right down here. And I always say like the best way to check, or one of the ways anyway to check your scale of things or your proportions to things is just to look at the things around it. Check the scale of where things are in comparison to your reference as they are on your drawing. That's how I tell if I'm on the right track or not. I'm like way off sometimes. I'll be like, ooh, okay, let me resize that. That's wrong. But actually change it. When you notice, don't just like leave it. If you can, which you can, especially if you're still in the drawing phase, go ahead and just change the size. It's okay. It's all right. This is here. And this tree is like, I don't know, but this tree is definitely, maybe I need to make this a little bit wider. Yeah, I'm going to change my canvas size just a little bit to make it a little bit more wide, like my reference is. So I go to image, canvas size, and I like to use inches. Where's width? And let's see, probably 9.5 is fine. And I go back to my background layer so I can fill in. So this command delete will fill it in. And yeah, that's much better already. I think that's fine. I could have gone to 10, but I think 9 is fine. Let's see. Move this tree over because my tree was getting, oops, wrong layer. Wrong layer. Let me lock that background back. My tree was getting squished. That's how I knew that like I didn't have enough space because I was not getting my tree proportion how I wanted it to be. So I knew I needed to change that. So I'm going to move some stuff around and then we'll redraw over it. That goes to there. And let's draw over this. See, do you guys see that? I keep getting a pop-up. Like, move. Alright. Better already. That looks alright. Maybe I'll make this come out a little bit more that way. So I have some more space down there. Why does it keep doing that? Why? Stop doing that. Stop it. Stop it. Oh well. Delete this part and redraw it. Delete. Delete. And this. out where these leaves are. It goes like that. Okay, that's better, that's better. This goes here. You always want your trees to look kind of organic. You don't want them to look like robotic or like, weird. You want them to kind of flow. So sometimes people can come up with some weird tree shapes. I see that a lot in my day job because I paint a lot of trees. People come up with some crazy looking shapes. So always, think geometric, even though you're going organic. That was like probably one of the best kind of lessons I got as far as drawing certain organic shapes, like hair. Like never just kind of go willy-wally with it. Figure out a shape, maybe stay geometric, and then add the details to it. Because if you just kind of go like weird, it just looks weird. Same thing with a tree. I mean, even though it's a tree, I don't know. I just think it's better to kind of think. Nature is perfect. Nature is the only thing in life that's like perfect. So I don't know if that will help, but like things always flow from each other, and like they're always balanced. It never is, incorrect. Everything is right. Even if something's broken off or something is like, big on one side, it's balanced. There's just a balance in that occurs in nature always. And so try to think of it like that when you're doing your trees. Just know that it's always a gradual flow. It never just looks crazy. This actually goes like this. She draws her trees a little bit different than I do, but there's still that flow to them, which I want to capture. So I don't know if that helps, but hopefully it does something. To draw them over repeatedly a few times, but that's alright. And I think I always draw from the back forward, especially in a scene. So I'm gonna do my characters last, which is pretty much like commonplace when you're doing like scenes, like an entire scene. You want your scene to flow, and then like your characters are just like the icing on the cake, or that extra something. Especially I think with this one, it's all about that house design, that it is the focal point, when your eyes looks at first, that house design. That's what this whole thing is all about. It's that craziness of that house. And I think I'll pick one of her folk art paintings for my last ones. I love that series that she did when they were doing the Saludos Amigos pieces. So I think I'm going to pick one of those for my last one. I just love those. Those are my favorites. I only did one of those so far, I think. Oh no, I did two. My first one was also, the first one I did also was the Saludos Amigos. And then 2 weeks ago, I think, I did 2 episodes, I'll say. was 2 weeks ago. It's probably like more like a month ago. I did the one with the lady kind of walking through the bush area. The bush, there is a bush area in my comic. That's why I kind of said that. It's kind of fun to like draw other places. Do that too, you know, draw places that you've never been to and places that are different than your home area. I don't know, that's kind of fun to me. But at the same time, there's artists who draw, I mean, just draw nature in general. There's artists that just draw their own neighborhoods and make great paintings. One of my favorites is actually another YouTuber. You guys probably know this lady who's an amazing watercolorist, and she just draws like the nature around her. But I love it. I think her art is amazing. I really like her stuff a lot. That's why I bought her book. Haven't read it, but it's on my reading list. I have like a list of things. Right now I'm reading this one. This is so good, by the way. And I'm not getting any residuals or like, you know, promotion, anything from anybody. But I just think that's a really good book. That's the one I'm currently reading. I have a list of books that I read and that I'm going to be reading in a row. But that's one I'm currently reading right now. And eventually I'll get to Earville. Cozy days. Alright guys. I think I'm almost done with my little backgrounds. My pre-sketch. Because I made that mistake of not doing that before, and then I had to like move her and change her size, and that didn't work out very well. So that was a little bit of a challenge, I'll say, initially, but I worked through it anyway. Alright. Because I tend to draw my figures pretty big on the page anyway, so I didn't realize how small I had to make my figure last time. Alrighty. So I'm just going to figure out how Alice goes on this page. Why am I not? This shape doesn't even out to me. Maybe it's this foot right here. She needs to be balancing on this foot, like she's standing to balance. And here's the rabbit over here, which is just like a big ball shape. The legs. Body. He's pointing to his house, further emphasizing that, you know, focal point. I think make my canvas even bigger now. So I think I'm gonna make it 8 by 10. Unlock that. shift to add. And I'll unlock that with something that can look more, a little bit more stumpy. And let's see. But his ears actually. I think Alice is alright. Just trying to think now, making sure that I have everything kind of how I want it to be. Should be 7 bigger leaves on this plant. I think that's fine. There's like a whole other layer of stuff happening back here though. Way off in the distance, there's like this. I don't know if it's like a castle or what, but there's something here. Way back there. And there's leaves that are here and here. I'm gonna try and thicken this tree a little bit. Alright, figure this out. Get this one out a little bit. Okay, I think that's pretty good as far as my little pre-sketch. I think we can start painting. Write that down. Lock that. Actually, let me take the transparency way down. That should work alright. 50. That should work for now. If I need to make it any more transparent, I'll do that. 1 second. I'm a little bit hungry. I didn't eat my breakfast first, I should have. I need to pick a color for the background. Let's see. Command A, Option D.
I might need to make myself some toast also.
Definitely can go for another cup of coffee. Alright, let's get started though. I'm gonna start painting digitally. Let's see. I need a pale blue to start with. Is that the brush I want? I don't know if that's the brush I want. I want like a charcoal. What am I? Oh, I'm on a smudge. No, I want a charcoal. Why does it keep on going to the blend? I guess that's just a blending. Oh, that is a blending brush. Duh. I don't know what brush I want. Maybe. Why do I keep pressing that blend? That's kind of nice. Alright, I'm going to use multiple colors anyway. Get that a little bit darker going. I want like a phthalo blue, I think. Just mixed with a little bit of white. Getting there, but that's not the color I need. We got tint more clear. Is that what I want? Trying to find my colors. This like this gradient sky. That's not bad. There we go. That's nice. Take this color, get a little bit paler. So just transition this sky from like blue to this, where it starts to turn this burgundy or like this. There's like a cream color. I'll take my brush down a little bit. Let's see this. Side. Alright, let's see what else we want to do. I think I want to this color for the soil. It's like a earthy tone, orangish, reddish color. Let's see. Kind of not that orange, a little bit more red than that. I think I can get with that. Here it's more showing that color comes down a little bit further right there. It can come down a little bit further right there too. Get the next color. There's like several layers of this earth color. Alright, let's see, what else can we talk? Did I ever finish talking about the domino effect? I don't think I did. I don't think I quite did. What was I saying? Basically, oh yeah, I think I got to Stardew Valley and then I trailed off. So I played Stardew Valley on Sunday morning. And then, but I got up too early to play. I should have slept in a little bit more, so I was tired. And last night, I went to sleep 10 something, I think. Around 11. No, it wasn't. It was 10, around 10 something. But when my alarm went off this morning, because I set my alarm for 6:30, I also went off on a tangent on that part too. I was tired, and so I slept in like an extra 15 minutes. But that 15 minutes trickled down, all the way down. It trickled all the way down to me starting to record. And that's that domino effect, because then I was 15 minutes late to take my son to school, and then we missed the bus. I had to drop him off at school. And I came back. I still wanted to go running, so I went running, but I got back from I didn't want to take a short. I said running. I don't want to take a short run. I want to do my regular run. But then I didn't get back until 15 minutes later than I'm supposed to get back. And then I took my shower, but I didn't finish until 15 minutes after I'm supposed to finish. And then I start my recording, but I'm 15 minutes later than I'm supposed to be. So it kind of like trickled down all the way from me sleeping in 15 minutes, and I don't know, what can I say? It happens from time to time. I'm trying, and I'm getting better, but some days, man, some days it's still like still a little bit off, you know. It just happens like that. I'm going to separate some of these on different layers. There you go. I want to put my house details on the same layer as my house. Thinking of that. Let me think. House. I'm actually going to name my layers this time, which I probably should do all the time. Behind my house layer, I'm going to put the trees layer, because there's a bunch of trees. Starting all the way from like way in the back. There's one that I didn't even draw on my pre-sketch layer, which is back here. It's like a almost white colored. More blue though. Oops. That's better. And okay, let's start drawing my other trees. Okay, let's see if I can see them better. Yeah, I see them a little bit better. The background layer off. It's that tree. There's also this sort of a pink colored tree. Oops. Going to use my sketch, but I'm going to more dependently kind of freestyle this to get it to how I want it to be, because I know it's not exactly how I want it to be in the pre-sketch. Option to change the shape of part of this, and shift to add. Make sure that I'm getting my organic shapes that I like. This one is more of a mauve color, but like a light mauve. Not lighter, but less saturated. This tree, it's coming along quite nicely, just little by little. Sorry, my eyes itching. Let's see, here's that. Alright, I need to get going on my discussion of the day, which we still haven't even gotten to. I started off going on with a little bit of that domino effect, but I think we kind of talked about that enough. What else is there other than that? What did I want to talk about? I'm still trying to figure that out, clearly. Oh man, I don't know. I think maybe I can just relay that though, my experience, to other things in life. Just kind of how one thing can affect the other. I don't think that's necessarily in a good way or in a bad way. It can kind of be either way. It can kind of just be like, you know, one way or the other. That one thing that you do in life affects another. Is that too generic sounding? Or is that, does that make sense? I don't like that shape. I don't know. I think they do. Well, they do. It's not even a matter of thinking. It's just one thing always does affect another. But it happens like with everything. Oh, my eyes. still itches. I don't know why. Sorry. Maybe it's my mascara. I don't know what it is that's going on with my eyeballs. I do want to do like a sketchbook review though. Speaking of one thing that trickles to another, how often you're drawing in your sketchbook does, and I have been a naughty girl with that lately. I haven't been as consistent as I'd like to be in my sketchbook, just drawing every day. Doing some kind of, I like the sketchbook to keep. It's different than all of my sketchbooks that I keep on my computer, because the ones I do, the ones that I do that are just like in my physical sketchbook, those are just the ones I do out of my imagination. Those are the ones that I just kind of like have a little bit more fun with, as far as like just being playful and doing stuff. So I don't know, that one is a little bit different, and I just like to keep that part of my skill, I guess if you want to call it that, sharp. It helps me to be able to draw things out of my head. So, I mean, it's one thing to ask yourself too, have you been keeping a sketchbook? It's one of the things too, some people never really, some teachers, I should say, never really teach you this skill. I don't think I would have gotten it at all if I didn't have a teacher that told me, like, do this, it's helpful, or do this every single day. Like, teachers would tell me to do it just kind of randomly, but they didn't like really harp on how important it is to do it like every single day and make it really part of a habit, And that didn't happen for me until graduate school. So hopefully you won't have to, go through the trouble of graduate school and realize how important it is to have a regular sketchbook. But I have never done like a sketchbook review on this channel. I was wondering if I should. I don't know if anyone would be interested in seeing my own sketches particularly, but maybe some people are. Some of them are fun. Some of them are really fun. Some of the drawings are just really out there and kind of crazy and storytelling and stuff like that. Some of them are just, random thoughts. But that's kind of the fun thing, is just kind of see like where your head was in different times of your life. It really ends up being like a little life story, which is kind of cool to have, especially I can imagine like looking through that, like, years and years later, or, one day your grandkids or whatever, your great grandkids even look through it and be like, wow, what did sus mean? Like, or whatever, I don't know, just the things I think about. I think it's kind of fun. I think I'm gonna do this one tree, that one tree on a different layer. I definitely don't think we're gonna finish today. Well, at this moment, I'll say. Perhaps we'll be able to finish later, but I don't think I'll have time to finish it all right now, just because I know I have to sign off at noon. But perhaps we can still get it done today. We'll see. Who knows what the cards may hold. Ooh, I don't like that bottom of that tree. I'll fix that. Delete. Alright, so this is my final tree, I think. I think this is the final tree I'm going to be drawing. Even though we're on the painting stage. Still kind of drawing things on there. Trying to find where they go and whatnot. just correcting as I go. You know, you always want to be, you're not just blindly tracing, you're correcting yourself as you add a new layer and you get to the next phase and the next phase. You continually, you know, kind of check yourself and what's the other word I'm looking for? Kind of correct yourself also wherever you see that you made a mishap or a mistake. Go ahead and fix that when you get the chance to on the next part, which is for me right now the painting stage, adding color, and I can go ahead now and fix whatever those sort of mistakes are that I made before. And of course you end up making new mistakes and you can fix those too. Because she was at the bottom of that tree there. Delete. Alright. I'm liking it, I'm liking it. There's this one part of the house that I noticed and missed while I was doing my tree. That's nice. That's pretty nice. Let's see what it looks like without the sketch layer. Not bad. Should fix a couple of things, but still not terrible, which is always a good thing. Oops. Well, that looks cool, but it's not what the painting is saying to do right now. Even though that looks cool. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and add the details on the house. I suppose I should probably do that on a separate layer. Find the right balance of pink and red. More red. More of a red pink. A bubblegum type of pink. I think this will work. And like I said before, you're not like blindly just tracing. You want to kind of correct any of your missteps while you're going through this. There, delete that part since that part is and I'm going to go under there and make underneath this very dark, almost black, not quite black, because real artists don't use pitch black. I'm just kidding. This is something that random people say, but never mind that. Alright, the hair. Do I want to do the hair? I'm trying to figure out which layer I want to do the hair on. I think it should suffice to do it on this layer, actually. This will make my life slightly easier to go ahead and make a clipping mask and then just merge it down. Oops. turned into like a magnetic lasso for some reason, or like some kind of lasso that I didn't want. This is like blonde hair colored. And I didn't draw my chimney. And I also want to make this part. Alright, I'll merge this down. Perfect. Alright. Continue to add some of these details. This is a cute house. It's a little bit creepy that it's like a head shape, but it's still a pretty cute house. Not a head shape, but a hair shape on top. Figure out where these things go. That's cool. They're pretty wide. Like the whole step here. It's like the door and the step. The door frame, I should say. It's not the actual door, which is the same color as the house. So I'm just going to delete that out of there. Back to the house layer. This should be coming out a little bit more. Just checking, make sure I'm still on the right layer. This window here in the middle. But I'm also going to delete this later. Okay. The little bunny shape. There's bunny shapes everywhere. But it is a bunny's house, so I guess it's supposed to. I like it. I used to hate pink and red together when I was a kid. I just thought they looked gross together. I don't know why, it just bugged me. Now as an adult, I love pink and red together. I don't know why I go to like such far extremes from hating something to loving it, but that's just me. I think also I used to hate tomatoes when I was a kid. I just thought they were gross. Raw tomatoes grossed me out so much. Now I love them. I can't stand having a salad without them. I can't stand having a burger without them. I love me some tomatoes now. It's so weird. Why do I go from one extreme to the next? I don't know. It's just what I do though. Why do you have to hate something? I don't know. That's just the way that I was. And am, I guess. Just like this movie. I didn't like it when I was a kid. And now I really like it. So, I guess that's one thing that's consistent about me is I change my mind. Maybe the only thing that's consistent about me is that you can count on me to change my mind. Alrighty. Let's see. Draw this fence. I'll do it on this layer. I think that'll work. There's this bunny fence that's right here, which I might need to change the size of because I'm noticing now that it's probably bigger than it ought to be. I'm just going to fill this whole thing in. Cut out the spaces where there's holes in the fence. Actually, we'll cut out the holes in the fence myself, like so. So I'll just lasso them and delete, and I'll just be see-through in that spot. Isn't that cool? Smaller because apparently it's a little bit smaller in the original. And I want to try to keep it as accurate as I can. That'll do. I don't know what the fence is. It's only like the gate door and there's no fence around it, so I don't know what it's really protecting, but okay. There's a couple of extra tree leaves I want to add. Right, I'm going to take the color of that tree. There's like a... Oops. I just totally moved that. That's not what I meant to do. Alright, so let's see. Edit, make sure. Sure, I didn't forget to undo anything there. I want to make a couple of extra leaves that are going to be going here. I like that shape. Oh gosh. Mandy. That's pushing the wrong button. There's a couple of extra leaves. Those white colored leaves over here. Another one over here. And then that spire that's in the back, I didn't draw that. So let me... That mirrors. Okay, where does that spire go? There's also like another tree back here. You got trees everywhere, Mary. You're hiding them. There's another tree there, and then there's like a spire actually another tree that I didn't draw. So I'm noticing other stuff as I go. Here. See, I make it a little bit more. It's like transparent. I don't know what. I guess she was using gouache, but I'm not sure. I want it to be a little bit more distinguished from that front tree. Make it a little bit more gray. It was too gray. Maybe I'll make it lighter. You also have to kind of use a little bit of your own imagination just to make sure that things don't wind up being like tangenty. So your picture is not going to be exactly the same as the original, but you still want to get it as close as possible. But you also want to. We say this too to myself when I'm drawing. It's like when drawing what you see, don't forget what you know. So even though you're drawing from reference and you have your reference there and you're just kind of copying it, you're not blindly just going about copying it. You want to use your mind and everything you know about drawing and apply that. And one of those things is like making choices like that to lighten that tree up a little bit so it doesn't become a tangent with my other tree, which I'm realizing should be much darker than it is. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so I'm going to darken that tree up and add the details when we return. That's what it looks like so far. We've gotten a long way in this time. We made progress. Don't let anybody say that we don't make progress here at Alicia Dianne Art Company. I'm so silly. Anyway, guys, I will be back to continue this painting. I don't have time to finish it right now, but I will be back. A couple of these are in 2 sessions, so this is going to be another one that's a 2-part. But we will be back in shorter than you know. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate you guys for being here. So thank you so much. I will see you again soon. Keep on drawing. Get your sketchbook. Be grateful, live balanced, and be yourself. I will see you soon. Later, guys.